Okay, so Cynthia, it took this jury only 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes, to find Billy Chemirmir guilty of capital murder. He is accused in the murders of 18 women, but he was only tried for the case of Lou Harris here in Dallas. She was found in her house back in 2018. Now, there was a mountain of circumstantial evidence in this case, and people, the families in this case, were distraught when in November another jury was hung. They could not reach a verdict, and they thought that that was such an injustice, and they were distraught about that. Well, now they quickly got a verdict this time because there was a mountain of circumstantial evidence. They were able to link him to the cases of 3 women by cell phones, by videotapes where they were shopping, but they were able to also follow him to where they were, to where the families were, to where the victims were found. They were able to link him with cell phone records, and they also linked him to some of the jewelry that these victims had on them, and they believe that Billy Chemirmir stole that jewelry and then sold it for sometimes just hundreds of dollars. These were their prized possessions. So the families in these cases, there were a bunch of families here, more than 11 of the families represented, and they came out a little while ago. They were hugging in the courtroom, emotional about this verdict and what they say justice finally being served, and here is what they had to say.
The evidence that was presented today is everything that we have had in our minds for all of these years. It wasn't really new to us, but it was seen today by the jurors who came back with a verdict based on the truth of what we have seen and known.
You know, I was sitting right there behind Billy Chemirmir all that time, and I just tell you, you just knew, you could feel evil there, and see the terrible things that he's done, and it was all just parts of it brought to life, and there's much more to come.
That was obviously Cliff Harris, the Dallas Cowboy, former Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer. His mother-in-law was among one of the victims. Now, in this case, because the prosecution, the DA, did not seek the death penalty, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The DA promises he's going to bring, though, a second case, but also not seeking the death penalty, to get 2 life sentences, he hopes, in this case. Back to you guys.